Welcome to the Summers in Africa show.
And you know I'm gonna leave that in there. How long did you plan the actual move? Like, did you take a long time? Did you take years? Was it like, okay, I'm getting out of here next year. If I can get out of here in 2 years, like how long was it?
When I told my sister I was moving to Africa, her initial response was, "Oh, well, you've been saying that for 20 years." So it was something that was always in my heart to do. I always wanted to move to Africa, but it just seemed like it was like going to space. Like, oh, that'd be fun to do. That's amazing. But then, is that people? Do people really do that? Do people really move to Africa? Like, that's not a thing, right?
Yeah.
So it was something I always wanted to do, but just never even really considered the actual how to even make that happen. But when I decided I was moving to Africa, it was September of 2020. And I said, I'm giving myself 1 year. Whatever I can save up in 1 year, that's how much I have. Whatever I can complete and finish up in 1 year, any loose ends I can top in 1 year, that's all the time I have. It ended up being 13 months and not 12 months because we came October. Well, we arrived here November the 1st, but I left October 31st.
And that was 2021.
So it was that year I promised myself plus 1 month. So it was 13 months from the day I said
Did you visit Gambia first?
I had never been to the continent of Africa, period, when I moved here. So you talking about a wing and a prayer? Girl,
Oh, you know I know. We have that in common.
I was on a wing and a prayer, you hear me?
Big prayers.
Big prayers. Big prayers. Like, I ain't never prayed in my life, type of big prayers. You hear me? But Allah is merciful. Allah is most merciful.
Did you know anyone here?
Not personally.
I mean, like, you met people maybe online, but did you actually know people?
There were two American sisters who I had come in contact with through somebody else. So I met them both through this person. We communicated via WhatsApp. I found this house from somebody else's YouTube video, from Rakita's video, Baggy's daughter. From her video,
oh, okay.
She had been in the place, you know how she would be showing stuff. And I was like, I remember she did a video some time ago about da-da-da-da. So I went back to her video and I contacted two sisters. I called them and said, I found this place in Sanyan. Will y'all go look at it? I want to get 2 sets. Because people can send you pictures of anything. But I asked the both of them if they would come to go to see the house. And they both went, like one of them went on a Friday and one of them went on a Saturday morning. And they both gave me the thumbs up. Okay. Oh, the house is good. Oh, you'll be fine. It was like, it's far from the highway, really far, because it was inside, it was in the bushes. And that you're not dealing with reputable companies like rent.com or something like that. And if a place is not as it was advertised, you have no leverage. There's no BBB to report them to. There's no code enforcement to call and say, this is falling apart and this
you
is
just gotta be stuck.
It just is what it is. So I was very grateful that Allah, I'm telling you, Allah is most merciful. Just like with those women. Allah sent those people to me and connected me with those sisters, and they checked out the place. The house was good, alhamdulillah. It's a great feat to move, and especially to move as a single mother. It's not, but so you got to really pray and trust Allah to line it up, and He did, alhamdulillah.
Single moms want to know.
Single moms want to know.
Would you recommend it?
I definitely recommend it, for sure. And this is obviously biased based on my experiences. I think it's easier to be a single mother here than it is in the States. And a lot of people can have the opposite experience and say, well, that's where my family is, that's where my support system is, that's where my mother, my sisters, my nieces and nephews are. Those are the people that help me with my children, help me. That's where their fathers are, whatever. But for me, I think it's easier. And your question is safer. It's safer. When I first arrived here, my youngest was 6. And so they were 6, 9, and 12. They were 6, 9, and 12. My 6-year-old especially, he's a wild thing. He was out in these Gambian streets, girl, living his best life.
Did you live like that in America?
I never let them out of my sight.
Okay, I'm just wondering, was he already kind of used to being able to go outside without you?
They never went outside, and if they went outside, and I have to be able to see. And I'm sitting on the porch. If you so far I can't see you, you gotta come back. I don't even want to be sitting outside with you all the time. But here, they really can be safe to go and come.
You don't have to see them. You can take a nap.
You really can.
While they're outside, literally.
And if you I think one of the mistakes that Americans make, it makes it really difficult for us, is they don't immerse themselves into the community. My advice to single moms coming to the Gambia, first I would say come. Whatever your insecurities and things are with coming to a foreign country, come. Ask your questions, connect with people, quell your anxieties by doing your due diligence, but come. And don't delay. The younger your children are, I think the better it is for you and for them trying to adjust living in this new environment, because it's going to be very different than anything that you ever experienced in your entire life for everyone. So the younger they are, the easier it is. When you get here, my best advice is to connect yourself with your immediate community, engage yourself with your community. I would also say connect yourself with other people just like yourself, with other Americans. We have a group for Muslim sisters. You could connect with us and join that group. If you're not a Muslim, you still could connect with us, and we could still, engage one another and be of assistance, right? But connect with other repats, because they're going to have a lot of the answers to a lot of the questions that you have. Where can I find this? Where can I find that? Because your local people, while they are a huge benefit, there's some things that you're going to be looking for that they've never heard of, they've never seen, they don't have any use for it. So your other repats, British or American, they're going to know where you can find this, that, some of those more specific things that you're looking for. Okay. Mm-hmm. So connect with those people. As a single mother, I would also say hire you a helper. Hire you a helper for a nominal fee. You can hire someone. You can hire someone as many days a week as you want. When I first came, I had someone 6 days a week. I reduced to 3 days a week for a couple different reasons. One, there just wasn't enough for them to have to be there for 6 days. But I'm also more settled now, and I have a routine. I got a groove, right? There's a groove that I'm in. And so it's easier for me now than it was for me when I first got here. But when I first got here, I needed somebody 6 days a week. And her duties were to cook, clean, do laundry, and she was watching the children when I needed to go out, only when I needed to go out. She wasn't nannying for me every day, all day long. But if I needed to leave the house and did not want to take my 2 youngest children, then she was there with the children. If you will engage yourself with people, connect yourself to people, you'll find so much ease here. They know we struggling. They have been into mischief before. Mm-hmm. And I don't even find out about it until a week or 2 weeks later, because it just happens to come up in conversation, with one of the brothers. You come here and you literally have a village, and like where I live, in the area where I live, it's a village, like physically, literally, they say it's a town. They get offended when you say good was a village. I'd be like, well, it look like a village to me. Yeah, but people are, when I would say, well, why you didn't tell me the boys did that? And the brothers would say, tell you for what? We took care of it. Yeah. They good. We took care of it. That's what we say we want. We want the village. We need the village. And in America, we've gotten to this thing. Can't nobody say nothing to my children. Don't scold my children. Yeah. Well, take your children and go in the house, and in case somebody can't say nothing to them. Yeah, you that's what I'm saying. You can get the help if you allow it. They gonna get your children together. They gonna love them. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody gonna beat them and kill them. Yeah. I think as long as you can change the way you think. So many of the problems that we have as Americans here, I think, is because of the way we think. I just had this conversation with Jossie this morning. If we change the way we think, you're in a new environment. You can't do anything about what you don't have, what's not like what you're used to at home. What you can do is say, this is my environment. These are my circumstances. So how can I make it happen for me in my current circumstances, in my current environment? You have to change the way you think. You have to engage yourself with your community, with your neighbors. They have to know who you are. And you cannot have this air of superiority. I'm better than you. No, I'm not going to do this, eat this, come to your house and sit on this, sit out here in this dusty place. You got to get in when you wrong, do like the wrong.
Well, the whole country's dusty anyway. Yes.
Girl, say that.
Yeah. What made you choose Gambia?
Okay. Well, actually, before coming here, I had 4 countries on my potential list. I didn't choose Ghana because it's too expensive. I ain't got them kind of pockets. My pockets ain't deep enough to be living in Ghana, right? Tanzania has some interesting, immigration laws. Like you can't just live there. You can't just plop down and live there forever. You have to come and go. I think like every 3 months, you have to leave the country, go out and come back. And I just didn't think that made me feel very insecure, especially with children.
Yeah.
And they don't have to let you back in their country just because you've been living there for 3 months, 6 months, 2 years. They could say, well, too bad. And all your things are there, your life is established there. And so that didn't make me feel secure. So that left me with Senegal and the Gambia.
Okay.
And Senegal, the difference really for me at the time between the two, Senegal is French speaking, the Gambia is English speaking. So naturally, I speak English.
Exactly.
So that's easier. In the heart of Senegal, in Dakar, it's very expensive. So what I like about the Gambia is that not only is it English speaking, but it's coastal, it's small, it's relatively undeveloped. And for some people that can be the reason why they don't like the Gambia, because it's relatively undeveloped. But for me, I felt like that makes it easier for me to get here, open up something, establish something, do business, because ain't no whole lot of red tape around the stuff you want to do. If you want to pave the road in your village, pave the road. Being able to be somewhere where I can be unapologetically Black and unapologetically Muslim, where I don't have to tread lightly with either. I can be very Black and be very Muslim, and I am very both, right? So, and your children don't have to be in school and be the only Muslim child in school, and they got to feel some kind of way because they got to dress like this, or they gonna be doing this, they can't go here, they can't do it. Everybody, the majority of everyone around you is Muslim.
What'd you bring?
So that's
really, your whole house.
That's a good question. So I know you'll get varying answers. Like you, I didn't ship anything from my house.
What?
Nothing.
I'm shocked. I thought you shipped your whole house.
No. We had 11 suitcases, which contained all of my clothing. Well, not all of my clothing, because 10 climate-wise, you can't even bring everything that you own because you live in a different climate. So there was no need for my heavy things and those kinds of things. So I didn't ship, but most of my clothing, what the boys could fit, and a little bit of what they would grow into. And then personal things like body, what do you call it? Hygiene things. There were some books that I brought with me. And then some of these little crystals and things you see around I brought with me. The things that we did ship were the contents of the library. Let me tell you how merciful Allah is, because I didn't have any intentions to purchase any furniture, at least not for a long while. I was renting a furnished house. Pay attention to those furnished rentals. I had seen beautiful pictures online. The house was fine. I had seen beautiful pictures online. The furniture they had would have been suitable. It would have been fine. That furniture, of all of that furniture, only one bed was usable.
What?
This was a 3-bedroom house. It was in very poor condition. like even for my little boys, my two youngest, Musa and Malik, they were sharing a bed in the third bedroom in their room, and they're small boys. Even when they went to sleep on it, the bed would like collapse in. I know, like, so I'm just supposed to wake up now in bed because they got smashed up in the bed. I wasn't expecting to have to do that, but like I said, everything you see here, I purchased.
Okay.
So my first year, I did a lot of shopping. Yes,
That was fun.
I don't know what your idea of fun is, but
That was fun going all over Gambia because you can't find everything in one store. You have to go to like every store that's in Gambia.
You want to know how long it took me to find a potato peeler and a cutting board and a strainer? Like if you want to sift flour, if you want to strain.
You had to go to every store in Gambia?
Girl, it took me like 8 months
Yeah.
to literally find a potato peeler and a cutting board. And not that those things weren't available, but you just don't know where to look.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You just don't know where to look for these things. And once you know where I can get these things here, then it's all good.
That's getting it.
But if you don't have somebody telling you, oh girl, well you can get this here, get that here, get that, you do.
Yeah.
It's like the needle in the haystack, and it's just a constant go to it. That could be a whole nother video, like how your budget is just busted because you think one thing, and then all of a sudden you got to furnish your house or do this or do this or do that or do this. You know what I'm saying? So it was just.
If you had to advise as far as like must-haves, you know, based on your experience and, you know, you bringing 11 suitcases that mainly were clothing, you know, if someone was like, I don't know what to bring, what should I bring, what should I focus on? Would you say like ship your kitchen, ship your furniture, ship your house?
Every family is different. Their lifestyles are different. What makes you comfortable may not be necessary to make me comfortable. In my experience, the things that I think are necessary to ship are sheets, bed sheets, quality pillows, towels, if your family uses towels for bathing, you know. If you can afford the space in your suitcase, or if you're going to ship something, I would ship my good cookware from home. Because I had a brand new cookware set that I had just bought less than a year prior to coming here, and I paid almost $500 for the set.
And you left it.
I should have made space in my suitcase for that. Like I should have sacrificed something else. I don't know what else. You know, I was shipping the contents for the library. I could have taken out 30 pounds worth of books and put that in the shipment that came, that would have come months later. But I was thinking, but what am I going to read for the next 3 months until my shipment comes? So I was like, well, I'm at least bring these books. You know what I'm saying?
We know you can't live without books.
I gotta have the books, right? So that's why the books were important for me to bring in my suitcase. But those are the things for me that I have just felt like, because everything else I really think you can find here. You can find the brands of toothpaste and deodorant that you're used to, toothbrushes. You can find those things. Me personally, I don't see a point to waste your suitcase space or shipping pounds on those items. But you're not going to find the size sheets that you want and the quality of sheets that you want here. Most of the sheets don't even come with a fitted sheet. So here you are trying to manage with a flat sheet as a fitted masquerade and as a fitted sheet, and for us it just don't work. Yeah, my stuff took 3 months to get here. So for the 3 months that you're here waiting on your stuff to come from home,
you'll be used to living without it.
You're either gonna be used to living without it, or you will have replaced it anyway, because you're still gonna need all of this stuff in those 3 months. You still
unless you ship it far in advance, you know.
Unless you ship
but then you don't want stuff arriving and you're not here either.
And then you run the risk of that.
So
and then so what you gonna do at home while you without all of the stuff that you ship? So you still gonna find yourself between a rock and a hard place. Exactly. Either way, you're gonna find. You know what I'm saying? So,
is there anything that you regret?
If you're coming to move, to stay, permanently, I would bring all of my money with me. I would little by little bring my money, because you lose money.
You're talking about bringing cash? You're talking about cash? Like you would bring the actual cash with you?
I would.
You know, I'm about to cut this part out that I'm gonna say right here, but The way these break.
Nobody has to know that you have that kind of money, though.
But if so, I'm just shocked. Like I'm just surprised that.
Okay, bring it and open you up a bank account right away. And so then you have it in the bank. I'm not saying you got to keep it all in your, but if you bring fresh, big face $100 bills, which I'm sure you know, you get more for your money when you do that. If you bring a 50, you get less.
Yeah, of
if
course.
You bring 20,
Yeah.
you get, and half this place won't even change a 20. So you bring big face $100 bills, brand new from the bank.
If you have them.
If you gonna bring $5,000 US, you need to go to the bank. I went to the bank. I'm always very frank. I brought with me $10,000 cash. That's what I had with me. And I had $10,000 cash. I went to the bank 2 weeks in advance, and I said by this day I need $10,000. People delay their move because they think they have to save up $100,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have some money regularly coming from the States, wherever you have your residual income from, you don't have to. It doesn't take you $50,000, $100,000 US to settle. So I tell people, for 4 people, with myself and my 3 children, when I came with $10,000 US. And with that, I was able to pay my rent for a year, furnish my house, do this and do that. You be spending a whole lot of money when you first get here. Cause for one, you just like, oh, that's only $12.
Unless
That's only
you're an
$6.
extreme minimalist.
And then you just spend it. You eat out. Transportation is crazy.
Yeah.
The transportation cost, especially if you're taking a taxi. And if you're on the Gilly, that's something else. $20 here, $50 here, that's nothing. But until you can learn that system, I don't know anybody that just jump off the plane and jump in the Gilly.
Yeah.
You be in the taxi, because it's easy, it's convenient to pick you up at home, take you where you're going.
When I got here, I got on that Gilly.
You was on the Gilly
I was on the Gilly.
Girl, I was
I'm
here
about saving money.
almost 2 months before I got on it. And you know what?
I got on that thing.
And I had a girl working for me, I had a girl cooking for me. And she was going with me everywhere because I didn't know. So she was translating for me. She was excellent. Shout out to Bintu. So she was, going with me everywhere, and we were going out one day. And then one day she was like, what do you think about taking the public van? And I was like, how much is it? She was like, maybe 15, 20 Dalasi. I said, girl, you should have said this 2 months ago. What you talking about?
Money on the taxi for nothing.
I'm like, girl, Gilly me.
Yeah.
So we started taking the Gilly. And it's got its pros and cons.
There's a lot of cons, but the pro, it's never unaffordable.
Never.
So if you don't have money, don't worry. You can get around. You can move here, no car.
Easily.
And I was riding the Gilly for 6 months before I even got a vehicle.
And not just the Gilly, but you can hitchhike here. That's the way of the people. You can hitchhike. You see small children hitchhiking everywhere to school.
Because it's a safe.
Because the environment lends itself to that. But old people, adults, people stand on the side of the road and people will take you as far as they're going. They'll tell you, I'm going to Tangent. You're like, okay, well, at least get me to Tangent. There are multiple ways to get around here that are inexpensive. But the taxis, as I'm sure you know, that can add up.
I know. Do you recommend moving into the neighborhoods where they're Gambian, or do you recommend moving into like the neighborhoods where there are more foreigners, people with like backgrounds?
Again, I think it really depends on your lifestyle. Some families like to go out to eat a lot. They want to go. They want to be, ain't really nothing to do in Gambia. It really don't matter whether you're young or old, but still living in the city, you do have access to more of that life, right? And then if you're like, well, I'm gonna be content with my family, I want a real game. I'm not gonna say you can't have a real gaming experience in the city, but I'm just gonna be here with my family. I just want to be free and easy. Then I think living out here, somewhere like where I live, is just fine. I have access to anything that I want. But what I like about living here is that I don't want to live I don't want to see tourists. I don't want to see those people. I don't want to see their behaviors. I'm not going to even speak real plainly because you know.
Yeah, I understand.
But I don't want to be those people.
Yeah.
I don't want to live by them. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see what they're into.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them with young African children, because I had to say something one day on the beach.
Yeah.
What? Why? What's? Because I kill you.
Yeah.
Literally, legit.
Yeah.
For the sake of the children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we know the nature of those people, right? We live with them all of our lives. We know them. We see them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you over here doing that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you gotta tell me one mistake you made, because we all make mistakes.
And this is for me and my personality, and having more introverted personalities. I don't want to have to deal with a lot of people. I don't want to talk to a lot of people, especially men. I don't want to have to engage with them a lot for this, that, and the other, right? And so they're really one person, but there are times where you trust someone to handle things for you, do things for you, and then you find out there's some ulterior motive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say it would have. Can't say I should have, would have, because I stalked it a lot.
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
But if I had, gotten some oomph, I don't know, about myself and handled more of my own affairs, then some things could have been avoided. By far, nothing terrible has happened to me or to my children. Mm-hmm. But people can, especially again as a single woman, you're American. Everybody likes you. Everybody want to marry you. And some people come into your life because they want to manipulate you and use you. And you think they just cool.
They just want help.
They just cool. They just want to help. They doing what a Muslim would do for another Muslim. When in reality, that may not be the case.
Instead of getting help, the help can
getting help from other people. But that's, that kind of puts you. But at the same time, I would say you gotta have help.
Yeah.
You gotta have help.
You have to have some help.
You cannot live here without.
But you feel like maybe let your guard down a little bit, like just a little bit.
Too much.
Too much.
And I'm really talking about one particular instance, one particular person. Yeah. But again, Allah is most merciful. Allah protected me from that and shaded me from what could have been from that.
But your regret wasn't about your move and how you did your move. Like it was just, being too trusting with an individual. So
I can't think of anything that I regret.
You wouldn't have waited a little longer to go?
No, I wish I had it come 20 years ago. I say come when your children are very young.
Yeah.
The younger they are, the easier it is for you and for them.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult when you bring in preteens and teens here. Because they've already got this life established, these activities that they do. They're a part of this sport team or this school thing, or, they got their friends and their clubs and their extracurriculars and stuff like that. The older your children are, I think the more difficult it can be. It doesn't have to be, but it can be for them to settle themselves. And there were many times where, I second guessed myself. And you're like, and I'm going by myself. Well, the only adult, should I say, I wasn't by myself with my children. Like, really, should I be doing this? And what about this? I don't know this. And I was having questions, and you're trying to get. And it's like every time I would second guess myself, Allah would open up another door for me, send me somebody else, answer this question, quell this, this anxiety about this or that. And so, just like with those women, Allah sent those people to me and connected me with those sisters, and they checked out the place. The house was good, alhamdulillah. And other people that I met, Gambians that don't live in the Gambia, they live in the UK. I had come in contact with Gambians that live in the UK, Gambians that live in America, and Gambians here on the ground. When I arrived, I had 2 separate groups of people come to retrieve us from the airport because of a misunderstanding, a miscommunication. I had 2 different groups of people to come and retrieve us. I'm telling you, Allah, step by step, worked it out. Because my little ones, they speak and understand Mandinka. So now the boys are 8, 11, and 14. My 2 youngest speak and understand Mandinka. But that's because they got out. They went out. They was always out. Their peers only speak their language, whether it's Mandinka or Olaf, whatever it is they speak. in whatever part of the country. They don't speak any English.
Oh, so
they have to learn the local language because they're going to want that they have to communicate with these children. Our peers speak English.
What about your oldest? Does he speak?
He don't go nowhere. So because he wasn't out and he doesn't go to school, so he's not out in the community, going to school, making friends, communicating, right? So, and that's part of his personality too. But you know, when they're young like that, they out, they're learning, they're picking. If you let them out, they're gonna learn the language. It's gonna be safe. They're gonna have to learn the language because they're gonna have to communicate with their peers. But you and I, our peers speak English. Taking help from people, right, and having helpers is that you still need to tie your camel. These people are human, just like humans in any other part of the world. You're going to run into people who are manipulative. You're going to run into people who you think you maybe can trust, and you can't. Especially as a single woman, you don't want to be a target, right? Men. Oh, she's single, she American, so that automatically means you're a billionaire. Because you're American, right? And they want to marry you simply because you're American, because they want to get the heck up out of here. They want to go somewhere because they think the grass is greener on the other side. They want to go somewhere. They want a visa. Beware of that. So definitely, I would suggest not getting hooked up with anybody too soon. Do your due diligence. Watch people. But even allowing people to help you with the maintenance and the handling of your affairs, you can do that. But always double check, always second guess, always double check. Always tie your camel. You're gonna trust the law, but tie your camel for sure. But you can let your guard down. Your children can be free. You can be free. And I was what do they call it, a helicopter mom? Oh my God, the way I had, and I have boys. My oldest child is a girl, and she's still in the States. Make dua for her forever and always. I always ask people to make dua for her. May Allah bring her to me safely, reunite us again. I have not seen her since we came here 2 years ago. May Allah plant her feet firm on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, put Iman in her heart, and make her amongst those who say from the inside out, La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. May Allah return her to the deen of Islam. Ameen, ameen, ameen. So all of you that are watching, make dua for her. But you know, I have boys. So as a boy mom especially, you want your boys to grow up and be independent and to know their world and be able to function in their world. But in America, I didn't allow them to do that. I always kept them on a very short leash, not because they were bad or misbehaved. It's just the environment does not lend itself to that type of lackadaisical, going about, right? But here, you can really allow your children to be free, know their environment. My children, the experiences that they have gained here far surpass anything they could have learned in a book being in school in America for the last 2 years, or anything they could have experienced, any amusement park they could have gone to, any basketball camp they could have gone to. What they've learned here is immeasurable. The skills they've learned. My youngest boy knows how to roast cashews. Did you know a cashew grows at the end of a fruit that they call a cashew apple? You have to pick it and you have to roast it because you cannot eat the outside shell of a cashew. My 6-year-old knows how to do that. Not only does he know that, but he knows how to do that. You can read about it in my upcoming book, G is for Gambia, a Gambian ABC book. It's almost finished. So we talk about that process in the book. But these are things that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to know. You can have the freedom to let them go and explore and be and do all these things that they would have never, ever had the opportunity to see, do, and explore in their natural environment. So I think those would be my best advices to single moms, especially with coming to the Gambia. I think that would be my best advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.